Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to study more about modules. Okay. So in the last lecture, I have already discussed about modules, right? The introduction, the definition, and overall how to create a module and then how to import it. So these things were discussed, and today we are going to see some more points on modules. Okay. So in the last lecture, we have seen that I have defined two functions, right, in the module, and that I imported in the main module, right? So as you can see here, module.py, so find sum and product. These are the two functions defined, and then this is what this module is something which I have imported here, and then I have called them with some values, right? Okay, so this much we have seen in the last lecture. Now what is happening? A module can contain executable statements as well as function definition. So in this whatever example I have shown in the last video, here only function definitions are there. But now in this line what it is saying, that we can have executable statements also, right? That means some print statement or maybe some calculation or some kind of if else or whatever. Any kind of executable statement can also be present in the module. It is not that you have to keep only functions over there, right? So we can have executable statements also. Now these statements are intended to initialize the module. Okay, so these statements we write for initializing. That means, let us say, like here we are using some kind of function, okay, or maybe some other kind of code you're writing. So for initialization purpose, maybe you will write some variable is equal to 0 or 1 something, right? So mostly for such kind of initialize purpose and all, we write such statements. Okay, now very important point here you have to notice is that they are executed only for the first time. The module name is encountered in an import statement. Okay, so those executable statements, because these statements are going to be executed only once, right? If we are executing the entire file, that then at once they will be scanned and it will execute, right? So that is why wherever that import module statement you have written, wherever that particular statement is encountered, that time itself that entire file will get executed once, and all the executable statements will be executed. Okay, and whatever output they have to produce or whatever, that will be done at once. And what about the functions? So for function, we know that we always have to call the function, after that only they get executed, right? So for functions, wherever they are called, after that they will be executed. Okay, so they are also run if the file is executed as a script. So in script mode also, if you're running the file, you're executing the file, then that time also it runs, right? Okay, so now let us write some executable statements and see that what it means. Okay, so now actually if you see, these two functions have been defined. Okay, and here I am importing them and here I am calling. So first of all, let us just run this much and see that what kind of output is coming. Okay, so as you can see, 10 and 64, these are the two outputs, because in the first one, find sum, 2 plus 8 is 10, and in the product part we are doing 2 into 8 into 4, which is 64. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let us write some executable statement. So let us say I want to write here print. Okay, so print that we are learning about modules. Okay, so this is the statement. So this is an executable statement, right? Now what will happen when it will execute? So as soon as this line is coming, import module, as soon as this line is encountered, what will happen? It will come to this file and execute all the executable statements. So here only one it is there, that is why this will get executed. Okay, and rest functions, wherever we are calling function, at that time it will be called. Okay, so if I run this, then what is going to happen? As you can see, we are learning about modules. This is the first line printed, right? So first of all those executable statements will execute. After that, wherever we are calling the functions in whatever order, in that particular order, these things are going to come. Okay, so although here print statement is in between these two functions, but you see in the output, this is the first statement, like this. Okay, you can also write it here this way, like here print, okay, and here end, This is how, if I write it, this is the last statement here. But again, if I execute this here, as you can see, first of all, we are learning modules. That line is printed. After that, end is printed, because all the executable statements will be executed one after the other, right? So in between, all the functions are there, so they are ignored right now, because whenever they will be called, that time they will execute. So otherwise, what is remaining then? End, that particular statement, okay, where end has to be printed, so that is printed. And then since here the functions are getting called, so their output is printed. So in this manner, you can write some executable statements also in the file, okay, and they will be executed only one time at the first, okay. All right. Now, each module has its own private namespace, okay, which is used as the global namespace by all functions defined in the module, okay. So that means here, if I am talking about this particular module, then here I can define some variables and all, and this module is having its own private namespace, okay, and that will be considered as global for these functions. Like what it means, that let us say a is equal to 10. This is what I'm writing. So this is what, this name is present in the private namespace of this module. So here if I am accessing a, then in that case it will be accessed from here, okay. So but if same variable I'm writing here, a is equal to something 20, then it is in the private namespace of this particular module. It has nothing to do with the other one, okay. Okay. All right. So this is how. So here if I print a, the value of a, in that case what will happen? So it is printing 20, right? Because this a is accessing the private one, okay. So here for this main module, who is the private one? That is your 20, right? So that is why that is getting printed, okay. Again, this a is there, so this is in the private namespace of this particular module, so it is separate. So both the a's are separate, and that is why their respective values will be considered. That is what that line is trying to say, okay. Now, thus the author of a module can use global variables in the module without worrying about accidental clashes with a user's global variable, right? So whoever is the author, okay, like if let us say I am the author of my module, right? So I don't have to worry about the names and all. I can use the global variables. I don't have to worry about that it will clash with the users one, because both the things are separate, both entities are separate, and any such kind of clashes are not going to happen, okay. Now on the other hand, if you know what you are doing, you can touch a module's global variables with the same notation used to refer to its function, that is module name dot item name, okay. So what it means, that if you're having some global variables, let us say, okay, like here a is equal to 20, so here 20 is getting printed, but I don't want to access this a, I want to access the a which is present in this module, so 10 should be printed. That is what is, if it is my requirement, then how I have to access that a? By the module name, like in the very similar way how we are calling the function in that similar way, okay. So what we can do here, we have to write here module dot a, okay. So that is what the syntax is here. Module name you have to write, and then dot item name. So here my item name is a, and that is why I have to write this, okay. Now if I run this, then what is going to happen? You see the output, okay, as you can see here. So what is printed? 10, 10, and then 64. So here now 10 is getting printed. That means it is accessing the other a which is present in that particular module, okay. So this is how you can do. So any such clash will not happen. If directly you are writing, that means it will refer to the private namespace, and otherwise if you're writing it along with the name of the module, then it will understand that that particular variable you are trying to access, okay. So this is how you can write variables also, and you can access them which is present in other module, okay. All right. Now modules can import other modules. This is very obvious, because here also actually this main file, right? This is also a module. So if this module can import this module, then other modules can also be there which can import. Like here in this module, I can write here like this, that import math, right? If you don't know about the math module of Python, then it is okay. I will be discussing about this later. But then here syntax error came. Anyway, Okay, so otherwise, so here we can import other modules also. All right. Now, it is customary but not required to place all import statements at the beginning of a module or script for that matter. Okay, so that means it is always not necessary. Mostly, most commonly, we always write all the import statements at the beginning itself, because mostly it happens that we know that what all functions we require, right? What are our requirements, and according to that, we import all the necessary modules. Okay, but it is not mandatory, like it is not a rule that you have to do it on the first line itself. Okay, you can import the modules as and when required. Okay, so if you know that first 100 lines of the code is not going to use the module, and after that maybe the module functions and variables will be required, so you can import it there after 100 lines, right? So you can do it. Okay, so any point you can import. So let us do that and see how it is working. So here, like as you can see, import statement I have written in the first line. Okay, but it is not mandatory, so I can just remove it from here, and I can put it here. Okay, let us say here, and here before that maybe I have some other work to do, so I can do that. Okay, so you can write something like this: for I in range, okay, till 10. If you have some work to do here, you can do it. So print I. Okay, and then we can just end it with a space. All right, now here you should, okay, so now if I run this, so as you can see here, it is running fine, right? So first of all, what we are doing, we are just maybe printing from 0 to 9. Okay, so 0 to 9 is printed. After that, we are learning modules, which is that executable statement that is getting printed. End is getting printed, which is another executable statement, right? Because why it is printing now, later part, because as it was written that wherever the module will be, import module will be encountered, so since it is encountered after printing 0 to 9, so that is why here statements are coming, and after that, as the variables and functions are called, the output is coming like that. Okay, so import statement you can write anywhere, later also. It is not mandatory that you have to write on the first statement itself. Okay, all right. So now the imported module names, if placed at the top level of a module outside any function or classes, are added to the module's global namespace. So if you're writing it at the first, at the beginning only, in that case that module name will be taken in the global namespace of the current module. Okay, so that is only the difference. Otherwise you can write it anywhere. All right, so now there is a variant of the import statement. Okay, till now whatever the most commonly used import statement is this only, that we write the import keyword and then we mention the module name. Okay, but here one problem is there. And what is the problem is that here only this module, only this name, the name of the module is only available. Inside that, whatever functions are there, variables are there, those names are not directly available to us, right? That is why we always have to refer them using the module name in this manner, right? So this is little bit hectic task, right? Because if you have to use the functions a lot of times, variables a lot of times, then every time writing the module name becomes little hectic, right? So for that purpose, what we can do, we can write the import statement in a different manner. And what is that? So we can write like this. Okay, statement that imports name from a module directly into the, okay, namespace. So what you can do here, you can write like this. So from is a keyword in Python, right? So you have to write from and then the module name, import, and then you write whatever things you want to import. So here you are having choice also. It is not that every function you have to import, every variable you have to import. Whatever you require, only that much you can import it, like this. And in this case, this fib and fib2, these the name of the functions, right? These names are directly now available in the current module. So now you don't have to refer them using the module name. So here you see fibo.fib. This is not written. Directly the name fib can be used. So let us do it. Let us try it in our module also, right? So what you have to write here, I'm removing actually all this for and all because not required anymore. All right. So now what you have to write, so from so my module name, which is module, right? So from module import import. Now whatever you want to import, you can import. Okay, so let us now import find sum and product. Okay, now you see here all everywhere you are getting error. Okay, error. And what it is saying, as you can see, undefined name module is not defined. This is what, because now this module name is not present, this is not defined. Okay, only these two names are available, only these two, find sum and product name is available. So that is why I have to remove this. Okay, like this. And this statement entirely will be wrong. Why? Because a I have not imported. So let us import a also, not a problem. So you have to write it this way, and we can write a here. Okay, all right. Now if I run this, then as you can see, we are learning about modules, that is printed, then end is printed. Okay, and then 10 10 64 according to the values, everything is printed, right? So this is how it will work here. Now if you write module dot, then this will be wrong, as you saw also. Now it is wrong because now this name is not available, only these names are available. Now as I said, you can import only the things which you require. So if let us say I don't need product and a, I just want find sum, in that case you can do it. But then you see the red marks here, because now these names are not available, so you're getting error. If I run this also, you're going to get name error, right? And what kind of error it is? Name error. That a is not defined. Okay, this function is not defined, so you have to delete it. So if I remove these, okay, and then only find sum is available, so find sum only I'm calling, and now according to that 10 is printed. And definitely before that executable statements are there, so they will always be executed whenever the uh, module is getting encountered, right? So this is how you can do it. So as you saw that here any error is not coming, whatever functions you require, only that much you can import. So that is also a benefit here. Okay, now, this does not introduce the module name, as I said, from which the imports are taken in the local namespace. So, in the example, FIBO is not defined, right? Here, FIBO is not defined. Only FIB and FIB2. These two are available, okay? All right. Now, there is even a variant to import all names that a module defines. Okay. Now you see in our this current module, two functions are there and one variable is there, right? So total 3 items are there. So it is okay. Even if I write that find sum, comma, product, comma, a. Now you think about a very big program where let us say 10, 20 or maybe hundreds of functions are written. Okay. Many variables are there. In that case, listing down each and every name of the function is definitely a very complicated task, right? We will not like to do it. In that case, what we can do? In that case, we can write star like this. Import star. In this case, whatever functions are there, whatever variables are there, okay, everything will be imported directly to the current module. Okay, and after that directly you can use the names, because we are writing this form of the import statement, so you can use the names and you can call. So that is how it is easier. If you know that the entire module you require, okay, and any functions may be required and multiple functions and everything is there, then you should always go for this star. It will include everything. Okay, so this is how it will be done. We can do it here also, right? So I can write here star. So return star. Okay, now after this, so now we can run this. So as you can see, we are learning about modules, then end is there, and then 10 is getting printed because of this. So here separately find sum I have not written, but everything is included. Okay, so we can also change it to product, let us say, and it is having 3 parameters. So let us pass something, let's say 9. Okay, so now product is also available and you are getting 144, right? So that means all the things are available here. You can now access whichever you want. Okay, now here also one restriction is there in this. Okay, and that is this imports all names except those beginning with an underscore. Okay, so if you're writing star, then everything will be included. As you saw, find sum is also included here, product is also included, and finally if you want, I can include a also. Okay, so it should print the value which is 10. A's value is 10 in this particular module, right here. Okay, so this is done. But what is happening? It will include all the names except those names which are having underscore at the beginning. Okay, so that is what this line is saying. So let us see that how. So let us say in this product name I am adding one underscore here, okay, and still it is import star, so everything it should include. And now if I try to um, you know call this function that is of product, as you can see red marks are coming, right? Even if I put three arguments, still red mark is coming and it is saying name error, this product is not defined. That means this is not getting included. Why? Because it is starting with underscore. So you have to keep this in mind, okay? Underscore can be at some other position. Let us say after p, if I am writing underscore, this is fine, okay? So let me just try it out. So here p is there and then underscore is there. Now you see red mark got removed and then we are getting the output. So as you can see 64 is coming, 8 into 2, 16 into 4, 64, okay? So now you are getting, so this is something which you have to remember that star will include everything except those names which are starting with underscore, okay? Now, in most cases, Python programmers do not use this facility since it introduces an unknown set of names into the interpreter, possibly hiding some things you have already defined. So what it is saying that mostly Python programmers, like you also, when you will start programming properly, at that time you are not going to use the star too much, okay? Very rarely. Why? Because in star you're not able to understand now which names and all are available because everything is getting included, okay? So there may be some unknown set of names into the interpreter, and it can happen that something you have already defined or something, so such kind of issues can come. That's why programmers don't use this star much, okay? All right. Now note that in general the practice of importing star from a module or package is frowned upon since it often causes poorly readable code. As I said, star is not generally used, so you should also not make it a habit of using star everywhere, right? Because that is not a good programming practice. And why it is not? Because it creates poorly readable codes and all, okay? So that is why, because by star you cannot actually understand that exactly which functions are included, imported and all, okay? So if you mention the names, then it is better. Very clearly it can be understood that which functions are imported, which particular variables are imported, right? So that increases the readability, okay? All right. Now, however, it is okay to use it to save typing in interactive sessions. Now, if you're in the interactive session at that time, multiple times you have to write the code, right? So in that case, you can use star. You will not have to separately type each and every name. So that is fine. Otherwise, it should not be used. Okay. All right. Now, if the module name is followed by as, this keyword, okay, as, then the name following as is bound directly to the imported module, okay? So what it is saying that, let us say my original module name is fibo, okay? Now that I am aliasing, that means I am giving it a temporary name as fib. So in that case, this fib name you can use now instead of fibo for calling your functions and variables and all, okay? So it is just that you can rename it. If your module name is very big, then for saving time and all, you can just give it a shorter name. Like here I can write here import module as m, okay? So if this I am writing, then using this name, okay, here m dot, I can write directly, okay. So import module. So now since let us say this name is very big, I don't want to use it much, okay? In that case, a very short name I have given to this, that is m. Now using this name I can call these functions and everything, okay? So same kind of output you are going to get, that is 64. All right. Now this is effectively importing the module in the same way that import fibo will do, with the only difference of it being available as fib. So it is exactly the same thing. It is just that one new name we are assigning it, okay? And so if you are using this statement, this form of statement using from and all, then also you can use this as keyword. Any such issue is not there, okay? So you can see that how to write it, okay? So from, then module name import, and then fib as Fibonacci. So in this manner you can just name it, okay? All right. Now the last note which is given is, for efficiency reasons each module is only imported once per interpreter session, okay? So in one interpreter session, once the module will be imported, okay? Therefore, if you change your modules, you must restart the interpreter. So let us say you have started your interpreter, okay, and after that you are making some changes in the module. Those changes will not be recorded, okay. So that is something which you have to keep in mind. Or if it's just one module you want to test interactively, you can use import lib.reload. Now, if such kind of case is there where one module is there and that one module you want to make changes also, and interactively at the very instant time you want to check also that those changes are getting reflected on all, if such kind of thing you want to do, then you can use this import lib.reload, okay. So like this, okay, import lib, and after that import lib dot reload, and after that you can write the module name. So this entire syntax has been given. So like this if you write, then in that case whatever changes you are making, those changes will also be included, okay. So you can try it out. Here link is also given, you can go in detail and study about this, but otherwise I'm keeping it till the basics only. So this was all about modules, okay. So I'm ending this lecture here. Thank you.